A conventional education system doesn't do all the things that is required to make your child a genius, and your child is a genius. Just that as parents, we have to take the ownership of raising them. I'm on a mission to equip 1 million children with right essential education so that they live a rich, courageous life true to their potential, whatever their potential is. They have to reach their maximum potential, and they have to lead a rich, courageous life. I'm on that mission. Specifically say knowledge, skills and values is because when my son was just 6 months old, I understood that this knowledge, skills and values, all these three things have to be developed in a child. I came to understand what knowledge to give, how I have to keep my son curious, what are the skills I have to develop in him, what is the values I have to develop, how I can develop. All those things I learned and I did it, and the result is now. 7 things that I did to unlock the genius in my child, which I think you can also do, because every child is a genius. I was inspired to make this video after watching the movie King Richard. Richard Williams is the father of Serena Williams and Venus Williams, the great badminton players. And I was inspired by both the parents, how they had tapped the potential genius of their child and gave great badminton players to this world. When I see some of my friends, colleagues who appreciate that my son is a genius, they think that he is a genius because he is born a genius. But I'm completely against this idea. I believe that I had planned it out for him. Or just like Richard Williams, who planned it out for his children. Just like that, I had done for my son. I just wanted to share my journey, my learnings with you all. If any of that applies to you, works for you, I thought that'll be of help to somebody. I thought of making that video because of that. First thing is to understand that raising a child is a project of 15 to 20 years. I heard this sentence from Sadhguru in one of the YouTube videos, and I thought that even before I heard that from him, I had understood this fact that I might be doing many things in my life, but when I'm going to beget a child, it is going to be a project of 15 to 20 years. Understanding that is very important, because many parents they beget a child, but then they're not really aware that it's going to be a project of 15 to 20 years. Whatever other projects I'm going to take up, building a house or going ahead in career, whatever I'm going to do, this one project is always going to be there. Just like how you upskill yourself for a project, or get to know how to do a land registration, get to know how to find a contractor for building a house, you will have to equip yourself for being a parent as well. That I'll tell you the further steps, but first understanding that this is a project of 15 to 20 years. That's the first thing that I put in my head. Yes, this is going to be there for 15 to 20 years. I have to do this. This is going to be part of my life for 15 to 20 years. The second thing is to have a clear objective. Clear objective means we are all afraid of having a clear objective in the sense of making my child a doctor or an engineer, because when we were being raised, and our previous generation or subsequent generations, their parents had this thing of my child has to become engineer only, doctor only, and because of that we see a lot of people getting stressed and frustrated, and we see many movies, the social thinking. All this is made us all, this current generation parents, to think that thinking that our child should become this or become that is something wrong, because we have felt the pressure as children when our parents wanted us to become this or that. How we felt pressure, we don't want to give that pressure to our children. Thereby we are thinking that we should not put a goal for our children, have a objective for our children's growth, let them become whatever they want. But let me tell you, there's a good thing about that kind of thinking, that my child has to become this. But there's a bad part also. The good part is you have a plan. You are taking your child in that direction. The bad part is my child has to become that. If he doesn't become that, I'll reject him. That is the bad part. Let us take the good part from that. No, instead of completely rejecting that I have any idea for my child, I want my child to become this or that. instead of leaving it all open and open them to the social influences, why not have an objective? What I did was I had an objective, but I did not have a specific thing. Like, I did not want my son to become a doctor or an engineer, nothing like that. I did not have that kind of objective. Rather, I had an objective of values, means what all things my son has to know, what kind of values he has to have. He has to be a devotee. I had that objective. I had an objective that he should be a good learner, I had an objective that he has to have good value system, and I had an objective that he has to communicate well and gel up with people and influence people, become a great leader. I had all these objectives, right? He has to become a good human being, a devotee, a leader. These are qualities. Further, these qualities can take him anywhere. Now my son has a goal that he has to become a scientist. Later on it might change also. But as a parent, I'm having an objective that he has to become a leader. When he wants to become a leader, I will work on his communication, his networking, the way he influences people, the way he understands people. All that I'll work on that. So having clear objectives as a parent was my second important strength that has made my son whoever he is now today. The third quality that I took up, or the third step that I did, was take ownership. Take ownership means take ownership of parenting. Because I'm a teacher, I see many parents they have this notion, or they tell me also sometimes, ma'am, now I'm submitting my child to you. Now it is up to you to shape him. I'll say like, hello, what is this? Come on, it is your child. You have to take ownership of what your child is doing, where they're going. This not only that, this thinking that I submit my child to a school. As a parent, it's my work to just find a good school and then put this child in that school and think that everything will be done there. That's not going to happen. It will not work. And finding a good teacher and then putting my child in that teacher's direction. Still, you cannot give up that ownership. Whatever be the case, you will have to own that ownership. And I owned it. Whichever school I am putting, whatever I am doing, still that child is my project. I take the ownership. Even when my child is learning there, I get involved. Not just during PTMs. And get involved in what he is learning, how he is learning, and all those things. So, just a shift that I submit my child to this school, or that will be taking care of everything. Please don't think so. A conventional education system doesn't do all the things that is required to make your child a genius, and your child is a genius. Just that as parents, we have to take the ownership of raising them. Then the fourth thing that I did was learned and continuously learn. When I conceived my child, from that time till now, I am continuously learning how to be a better parent. It's a known fact to everybody that children don't learn from what we tell. They learn from what we do or how we are. So, as a parent, I have developed my personality from my son. My son was born till now. I know the drastic difference in my personality, how I was before and how I am now. Because I understood this fact that I have to learn certain things and I have to improve, I have to change myself, and thereby many things that I didn't know about parenting, about child, everything I learned. Many people think that my child is a genius just on his own. That's not true. I kept on learning and refining the things that I do for my son. I used to continuously learn. People used to mock at me saying, what is this? You're learning all this and all. How to look after a child. Why you have to learn? You're a mother. It's a natural instinct and all those things. And everybody used to make fun of me that because you were a nerd as a child, as a student. Now you're a nerd as a parent also. You want to read and learn everything. I'm telling the answer to all that mockery is the way my son is now. those people who used to mock at me, now they themselves praise how my son is today. Let it be all-round development. Let it be his knowledge, his skills, his values. I have worked on all of those things. How I'm able to specifically say knowledge, skills and values is because when my son was just 6 months old, I understood that this knowledge, skills and values, all these three things have to be developed in a child. I came to understand what knowledge to give, how I have to keep my son curious, what are the skills I have to develop in him, what is the values I have to develop, how I can develop. All those things I learned and I did it, and the result is now. And now also I'm continuously learning what is the essential things that I have to give my son so that he unlocks his potential and lives a rich, courageous life. I'm on a mission to equip 1 million children with right, essential education so that they live a rich, courageous life, true to their potential, whatever their potential is. So they have to reach their maximum potential and they have to lead a rich, courageous life. I'm on that mission. What I did for my son, I want to do it for children of this world. So how much ever I'm able to do till I die, pass away, I will keep doing it. Then the fifth thing that I did is invest in right places rather than just save. What I mean by it is, I've seen many parents who, as soon as they conceive a child, they know that the education is going to be there. They start saving money and they do all those things. Even I have done that. We save money and keep. Thinking we have to put them in a good school and higher education, some big college they have to go. So we start taking our LIC policies and many things we do, forgetting the fact what I did different is I invested at a right time, right place rather than saving the money. What I did is when my son was just 6 months old or 1 year old, 6 to 1 year old, I brought a program which was 1.5 lakh called the Total Development Program. Everybody, all our people around me, like, what is this? Why education for him now? He's just not even 1 year old. Why you are doing this? And they thought I am wasting money. And but I was completely bought by the program, and I did that program for my son along with him. And that's why today, if you see, he can come up with ideas like connection. He connects Vibgyor colors to his resistor colors. Many things he does, which is just incomprehensible even for me. I always say, parent is like a bow and arrow is the child. So how much I stretch back, that forward my son will go. I used to feel like that, and I invested in the program at that time because I understood that, because I understood that children have millions and billions of neurons at that time, and when we expose them to certain things, they become fantastic in the future. And when I came to know that, and I wanted to give all those neurological connections, that synapses they call it as, so I wanted to give that, and just I had to do some steps every day, and I used to do that. And the result is today, I'm seeing dividends of it today. Now how he's an independent learner, what is his creativity, and what is his courage, and how he deals with his emotions, knowledge, skill, values, all of it. So instead of saving money, I invested in a certain thing beforehand. I had one motto: wherever he goes, he should be able to learn. I want to, irrespective of which school he goes to, he should turn out to become a champion. With that in mind, I started believing in my son's capability rather than believing in a school or a teacher, and I invested in improving his capability. The sixth thing is plan, but be ready to change the plan. That means what? I kept setting a plan, like now I put my son in Montessori only because that is the best thing. Then after that I wanted to put him in a CBSE school or ICSE school. Then it turned out that the more I learned, I understood the education system and all those things. I was ready to change my plan. Sometimes what happens is we put our children in a certain school, and we're planning to for a certain objective, but finally that doesn't turns out, but we don't have this courage to, oh, I now have to find one more thing, one more school, one more teacher. That becomes a very difficult thing for us, no? We continue to do the same thing, but I always was like open, saying it might be a little bit of struggle for me, but then this is not the plan which will reach me to the objective of my son becoming this kind of an individual. So I was always open to change my plan. I was open to change. I had this courage to change the plan because it is finally not meeting the objective. Seventh thing is to have open mind to continuous feedback from people, environment, as well as my own child. I have told you all that many people used to mock at me with comments saying this and that when I was learning. But I was open to their mockery, saying, what are they telling? In whatever they are telling, is there some truth to it? Should I investigate on it? Should I think about it? They are telling certain thing. Is that true? Or is that false? I used to take the mockery, the feedback from people also. And I used to take the feedback from the environment also. How our education is progressing, how careers are building up, what kind of careers are opening up. And I used to think about those things and change my plan. I was open to feedback. Not only that, I was open to feedback from my child as well. We may think that our children don't know and we know the best. But that's not true. After a certain level, we know that they can also think and they can give the feedback. And I've always left an open forum to my son to give his feedback to me. But it is up to me whether I will take it up and change certain things or not. So I respect my son's feedback, my child's feedback. Some parents don't think that is necessary. So finally what happens, whatever they're doing good for their child, the child is not able to accept it. My final motto was that give respect to your child, because they are an individual who have come to you and through you, but they are separate from you. They have an individual existence, and you are a person who is going to facilitate their growth. You are not the reason for their growth. You are, it's like the earth. You're the earth and they are the sapling. You are the support system. You are giving the nutrients, but who is growing? They are growing. If not this earth, they will go to some other place. That same plant planted in a different pot, different kind of earth, they will grow there also. So we need to leave this ego of me only doing everything. That ego also we have to leave. And when we leave that ego, then we take in that feedback from our children also and see whether we have to change. I want to recap this, summarize this entire video with one thing, that there's some personality traits that we have to bring in ourselves. Understand that this is a project of 15 to 20 years, and understand our ownership. We have to take ownership. We cannot say somebody else is going to do. I cannot teach my son. He has to learn from that teacher. I cannot build his personality. That school is supposed to do that. We cannot give up the ownership like that. And we should not think that there's nothing to learn for us to raise a child. We have to learn. And for that sake, we do not learn all from the crude ways. You can learn from experts and just take one or two things here, from there, and then, but continuously learn about parenting, continuously learn about raising a child. Then the last important thing is be open to feedback, even from your child, from the environment, from the people. Be open to that and do it. So these are some of the secrets that I have implemented as a parent, and I'm seeing very good dividends. When I say dividends, I'm seeing a fantastic, happy, progressive child who is learning, and yet naughty and stubborn. All the challenges that you can have as a parent, I'm also having. But the only difference is the outcome, how my child is today. That is a difference. That difference you can also make if you can change the way you think and do certain things. Just a matter of awareness, just a matter of flipping few things that you might be doing. I hope you like the video. If you like it and share it with others, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not yet done, and click on the notifications button. And let me know in the comments if you agree with any of the ideas, or if you don't agree with any of the ideas, or if there is something that you've done better and that will be useful to others. Leave a comment about all those things in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.